Greetings, my loves. It's me, Akasha. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Yes, what a time to be alive. So no doubt you have all been feeling these heightened frequencies and activations. Well, I would imagine if you're listening to me, you're becoming aware of yourself as this multidimensional being who is holding. We're in the process of holding. That is the ascension process. It's about recognizing that you're more than just this vessel, this body. So anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I wanted to address a big topic that's going to be coming up, that has been coming up. And it's all wrapped up in a bunch of fear and illusion, really. And that is the topic of death. So being a medicine woman and a death doula, I am very familiar with death, in that it is simply a process. And when one can prepare for it, it's a wonderful thing. When one has an opportunity to tell one's life story at the end of one's life, it is a great and divine blessing and gift. And I do hold space for that, and I offer ceremonies for those who have passed, mostly for their family members, to make sure that they have transitioned. And it's a process of helping those left behind to feel more comfortable with the rebirth that occurs with death, the awakening that occurs with death. And anyway, so I wanted to talk about death because many of us are running around, not me, masked, afraid of a virus that has killed less people this year than last year's flu virus and years previous. It's really nothing unusual. It was, of course, a created virus that was modified in a lab. And, of course, I'm sure many of you are aware that there is something else at play here, and hopefully beginning to realize that 2 and 2 is not adding up, and that perhaps there is some false information swimming around there. But what's happened because of all of this, people have gone into fear mode, fight or flight, survival mode, panic. Some, of course, have been touched with the death cycle. And certainly the cycle of loss and having to go through a grieving process, loss of jobs, relationships, even material things, and so forth. And so I want to remind us all that death is a natural process of life, and it's something that unfortunately we don't celebrate. Because it's a great blessing and a great gift to awaken fully to oneself, to be able to look with compassion, self-compassion over one's life and choices, and go, oh wow, well, okay, I can come back now because I want to do it different next time. Or okay, now what can I learn and how can I continue to evolve? I'm not ready to go back. At least that's what I sense, and over many, many decades have picked up on that, we are infinite beings, eternal beings, and that this is just a temporary body, like we lease a car, and we get to have this 3D experience in this reality that is more of really a holographic experience of our energetic self, okay? And so the ascension process is being able to experience one's death of ego, death of self, while still maintaining one's physical body, okay? And many of us are experiencing the fourth dimensional realities where it feels more surreal. We're becoming more active in our dreams. We're seeing energy, sensing energy. We're having telepathic and clairaudient, clairsentient experiences. Even telekinesis, all the clairs, all that kind of good stuff. This all comes with, and even past life memories and so on and so forth. This all comes with our ability to ascend while still in human form. And as we are changing, evolving on a physical level, this is changing us from a carbon-based being into a crystalline-based being. That's why we're so stimulated with the changes within the Earth's magnetic frequency. That's why we're so activated with all of the gamma waves that are coming through. That's why we're craving water. That's why we're craving being grounded on earth. That's why we're wanting to bathe more. That's why we're looking at ourselves, some for the first time ever, and saying, gosh, what's going on here? Who am I? And what's with all these new feelings and sensations? And let's go back again. Let's circle around to death, because it's a part of this beautiful cycle, this infinite, beautiful cycle of consciousness, of life consciousness, of love, of being alive and present. So death is difficult for those of us that are left behind, but for the one that passes, it is oftentimes a great relief. So because of how rapidly we're shifting and changing, and because there are those that don't want us to awaken, ascend, have these higher dimensional experiences, these intuitive remembrances, these senses that are heightened, they don't want us to question the old school ways of being, the system. They want us all to just, continue to play the game so that their machine can continue to function. So there are those that don't have our collective best interest in mind, and those are the ones wanting us to be masked and stand separate from each other and shun each other and judge each other, as if we could ever possibly be separate. They have taught us for eons the exact, pretty much opposite of what the truth is, and that is that you are divine spirit and an aspect of source itself, experiencing itself in a human form, in what appears to be a physical form. And death is a process that has been shortened, where our lifetimes have been shortened, because of the control mechanisms in place, because of the fear, the perpetual violence and war, the rejection of the feminine divine, and the bastardization and brutalization of the masculine divine. And so we are truly in this awakening process, recognizing who we are, okay? And because of this, that there are entities and beings that really want to maintain their control. They're going to try everything they possibly can to keep us in states of fear, which feeds them and perpetuates a cycle of abuse and psychosis, really, and control. And so things over the next few days, and weeks and potentially months might get even more chaotic than we experienced in 2020, meaning more experiences with death and loss. And so I want to remind you that you are a powerful creator being. I want to remind you that love is the most powerful action, verb, emotion, and conscious experience of self. Nothing is more powerful than the power of love. It's, of course, right up there with faith and belief and compassion. And we need to be in spaces where we are guided by our heart, not by our fear, not by our ego, right? Not by our fears, right? Guided with compassion from our heart. We need to stay grounded on the earth so that we can assimilate all of the upgrades that are coming through. We need to eat as healthy as possible, as live foods as possible, and drink water and teas and bathe and tone and dance and listen to good music, positive frequency waves to support ourselves. And nothing's better than meditation and breath work to align oneself to source, to align oneself to the light, to the truth, and to the love, to come back into the balance of the now moment where one can experience what is referred to as the 0 point or the no time space. And that is that sensation of just being in the moment. And that's going to help us. Our ability to create on a quantum level by utilizing our senses to manifest that which we desire, excuse me, is key and will benefit us greatly. Recognizing recognizing throat chakra action. Thank you. Recognizing that as creator beings, we can choose to continue to do the same thing. Or if that's not feeling aligned, or we're feeling a little out of balance, we can reach for new things to incorporate in our daily routines. We can begin to envision our life as we would imagine it to be, at our highest level of awareness and expansion and love. And we can imagine things like peace on earth and free water and services like healthcare. We can imagine a system of government that works really for the people and is of the people, and by the people and for the people. We can envision, societies that don't need to require borders and those that governing from peaceful methods. We can envision a vitally healthy, happy humanity, and where we don't harm one another. We're not in states of perpetual war and peace and competition, because that is not of our divine and true nature, and it cannot be sustained. And either we will self-destruct or we will evolve and ascend beyond this. And really, that's what's happening right now. It's that big. So it will benefit all of us to stay in our hearts and just to continue to connect on those energetic levels, radiating our love, allowing our chakras to cleanse, clear, and align, balance, and be fully activated and open. And there are many available to support us. And if you resonate with me, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I work long distance or locally, offering many different modalities that are mostly at this point intuitively channeled and incorporated. But I've been doing this for 3 decades, so. And there are many others that are even more in tuned and aligned than I am, that can support you on your ever expanding journey into self as spirit and as connected to all that is, and whatever you can do to maintain a sense of comfort and peace and balance. I encourage you to find your bliss, what works for you. Moving out of the lower chakras where just the basic needs are met up into the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, and the soul star chakra, working with your higher self and with your guides. There's so many masters available to tap into right now, but it does take you settling down into yourself and into the now moment. So may you find a way to acknowledge death as a natural process. May you be supporting your beautiful holy temple and vessel with the highest vibrational choices for you. And may you follow your bliss and your dreams and step courageously and boldly forward. And if you do not wish to wear a mask, stop doing it. I have not had to yet, okay? And we're in full lockdown, and I still walk in and get my groceries. I'm not going to the dentist, which is a bummer because I would really love to. But any place that requires a mask, I just don't go into. It really is against federal law. And even a private business that opens its doors to the public for sharing its goods and services cannot discriminate and cannot force you to harm yourself physically or emotionally or spiritually. But if you feel better in a mask, wear the darn mask. Anyway, that's a little bell to tell me, okay, you're done now, girl. Stop. This is kind of a long video. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you for joining me in love and light. Ooh, let's get some of these wonderful sunshine activations. Ah, yes. Breathe in that light. Do you see that? Look at that magical magnificence. Thank you for sharing this beautiful, delicious moment of the now with me. There is nothing to fear, dear one. Utilize the armor of God. Surround yourself in a shield of crystalline golden light each morning, each night. Utilize pillars of light, whatever works for you, so that you feel safe, secure, loved, and supported. These are divine activations. Get out in the sun and see what's really going on here, my loves. Infinite blessings, love and light.